Hello, hello, this is a quick guide to the fallen S.A.B.E.R Grandmaster Nightfall. This Grandmaster Nightfall has Overload and Anti-Barrier champions. Also has Arc Threat, so make sure you do have Arc Resist on your chest pieces. Arc Surge is the bonus damage for the season, and Strand Surge is the weekly one. So we are going to be making use of Arc Surge quite a bit, because the main weapon I'm using is Thunderlord. I won't be taking it off for most of the run, I'm just spamming all the enemies with Thunderlord. The main way we're getting all the heavy ammo that allows this to be possible is Frozen is going to be using the Cenotaph Mask exotic for the Warlock with Divinity, so he's going to be tagging all the champions that will spawn heavy ammo when we kill them. But it only spawns heavy ammo for the person who kills it, which will be Limonada with the Aeons. So he's going to finish them with Aeons to spawn heavy ammo for us, but he'll also get heavy from the Cenotaph Mask, and he's also using Thunderlord, so me and him are just going to be spamming Thunderlord on as many of the enemies as we can, and just getting so much heavy back from all the champions that we finish is the main strategy that we're using. We don't really have too much anti-barrier, or any anti-barrier, but the main way we're going to deal with the anti-barriers is the Strand Hunter. So I'll be throwing Strand Suspend grenades at most of the anti-barriers before we kill them, just to make sure that they can't put their shield up. We also have like chill clip on fusion rifles and things like that as well, so if we really needed to, we could use chill clip to freeze them. But I should have plenty of suspend to deal with the anti-barriers. There's only a few of them in the strike. Anyway, we're going to be using the cheese for the Warsat area up here. So the cheese involves emoting in a specific spot to hide your character and allows you to capture the whole zone without fighting any of the enemies. I'll explain some strategies for non-cheese, but what you want to do is you get in this spot here for the cheese, kind of look in a certain spot. Depending on the emote, the spot kind of changes, but then right here is perfect. I've got my head completely covered by the Warsat, which means the enemies can't shoot me. You can get a teammate to start the scan. You can start the scan yourself beforehand as well if you're quick at getting into the spot, but otherwise you get into the spot, teammate can start it, go hide, and then you'll see enemies shouldn't shoot me. This is the trick. You want to make sure your head is completely covered by the Warsat. If it's seen in this gap, enemies will shoot you. It needs to be completely covered. The types of emotes that work, you see I'm using this Throne of Atheon emote, which you can buy on either Steam store or some of the console stores. You might also have this emote. This one was the Season of the Lost Season Pass emote. So a lot of people who did the Season of the Lost Season Pass would have this emote that works as well. It's a slightly different positioning to get it to work, but again, just try and make sure your head is covered, like I said. The 30th anniversary emotes as well work. I know the anniversary pose, you can stick your head forwards into it, and this one works. Your whole body is exposed, but that doesn't matter. Like I said, as long as your head is covered, that's the main thing. And yeah, there's various sitting emotes that you can go through and use and try and get them to work. But as you can see, all the enemies are standing around, none of them are shooting me because my head is covered. Because the way enemy AI works is they actually target your head. They shoot you in the body, but they target your head. So if your head is covered, they can't shoot you. Now if you don't have access to the right emotes, or you don't want to do the cheese, what I'd recommend is when the ships are coming in, shoot the turrets off the ships so that they can't shoot you. You want to blow up the turrets. And then once the enemies start dropping off, you can actually get out of the zone, kill the waves of enemies, and then once the waves are done, get back in the zone. There's only a certain number of waves, that they are finite. They don't keep spawning infinitely. So you just want to deal with each wave, then get back in the zone, do some more capture, get out of it when more enemies spawn. You can do it slowly, it makes it a lot easier if you're not trying to cheese it. Now once you finish capturing, all of the enemies here will despawn except for the champions. So that allows us to still get platinum because the champions remain. Now we're going to show off the strat that we're going to be using for most of the strike. The Cenotaph Mask tags the champ, and Limonada finishing with Aeons is what's going to be giving us so much of the heavy ammo. Obviously we don't need heavy ammo right now because we just started, but just get a taste of how much we're getting throughout the strike. And that's why you'll see me and Lemonada basically using the Thunderlord as our primary weapon. And once we get through the cave into the first room here, we're going to hang to the left. I like taking the left angle, personally. You do get some enemies, just a couple of them that push you, but for the most part. I don't like the angle right here. Some people stand at that doorway. I don't like that. I like to run down here. Now you do get a couple of marauders that spawn behind you from that door that you can watch out for. But for the most part, being down here is safer, I find. Once you kill a couple of these enemies outside, that's when the marauders spawn. And you also get a couple of the sword ones that push you. I don't like the anti-barrier, so I do like trying to suspend it and kill it. So we're good. Once you kill one of the champions, that's what spawned the other overload that you saw. Lemonada finished the first overload, it spawned the second. And that's all of them dead. Now for the next section, obviously open the vent. Now we're going to want all of our team to go stand in that doorway down there. So that's where the next overload spawns. We get 2 overloads here. We're going to get ready to spawn kill them. They're the only enemies that we need to kill in this whole section. So we break that. Kill both overloads. And then we can leave. We don't have to kill any of the other enemies really. Make it safe for us to get out. Coming up to this arc section. Now there's a few ways of running down here. The best way honestly is if you're on an arc subclass, you can kill the tracer shanks with an arc subclass and that will give you amplified, and if you get your speed boost, start running, get your speed boost, you can actually run full speed down here after you pick this up, all the way down. I find that the best strategy, but if you don't do that, you can also pick it up and slide. It doesn't look like you're sprinting, but you can actually slide every time like you are sprinting, and get someone to invis you halfway down, and easy to make it all the way. I find that better than actually shooting the enemies, because sometimes when you're shooting the exploders, that just gets you killed. Someone shoots an exploder as you're running past. It makes it actually more dangerous, I find. Going to the next section. Again, it's going to be maining our Thunderlords. Now we do want to be careful from going too close. I missed my grenade. I don't like getting too close to the exit up here, because it does actually bug out one of the overload champions when it comes out the doorway. Looks like we've got them both out now though. So we're good. Some of the other enemies got bugged, but yeah, I find if you're standing back, it actually causes them to come out a lot better. Yeah, that's why I don't like going too far forward. Lemonada might have been standing a little far forward, I think, trying to get the finishes. Sometimes not worth it because this happens here. You know, kind of worth leaving in. There are ways to get them out. Either running completely away can sometimes work. You can also sometimes bait them out, getting them to attack you. Or hitting its leg. There we go. So yeah, worth leaving in. Show the bullshit. If the overload's trapped in there, it's a lot harder because it's going to be spamming you through the wall. Again, there are ways to try and like bait it out and try and stun it. But often it's just faster just to restart the run. Because this GM is pretty fast. I'm gonna let him get the finisher on that one. For the heavy. Alright, up here, the hardest part of the strike, not dying to the ramp. Now, there's a way I don't die every time. It's easy. Just take your hands off your controller or keyboard. That's it. Just drop and then hands off. And just let it drop. You can obviously turn around. But as long as you're not touching the movement at all, that's what causes deaths there. People just touching the movement keys. I want to try and push the boss as quick as we can. So we're going to be trying to use our Divinity and our 2 Thunderlords to push him. It's not the best DPS, but it does the job. And then we can start dealing with the adds. Dodge Grenade. Ow. Don't think we have any anti-barrier. That's alright. Where shoot to loot comes in handy. I'll be able to get that ammo in a minute. Alright, in the next section, really important to watch out for the 2 snipers that spawn up there. You can see the door opens. That was the first Tracer Shank. We're going to get another one in a sec. Frozen sniping them. Heavy over there. Oh my god. That time it worked. Now we just want to melt the boss. Use your supers, use all your heavy. That's it. GG's. Don't forget, make sure you subscribe if you aren't already. It really helps me out. Leave a comment if you have any questions. Thank you all for watching. Bye.
Thanks for watching and make sure to subscribe for more. Special thanks to our channel members Matt, Smolik, City and Burnt Toast for their continued support.